guys, welcome to an exciting episode of the Stash Report from the Stash Project. Today is September 4th, 2015, and we are back with some more kit announcement and news. We actually have one new kit to talk about this week, several modified reissues, a couple of straight reissues, all sorts of good stuff. If I don't seem quite with it, my work just switched me to a midnight shift for about a week and a half here, and last night was the first night of that, so I'm here. No, seriously, I'm here. All right, so really right now, as far as new announcements, we really don't have too much of anything, as it's not that time of the month, so to speak. We did find out a bunch of stuff from Studio 27, however. You guys may recall that, of course, in September here, we're going to be getting the first of the Hasegawa BMW 318i race car kits, as well as the reissuing of the Tamiya Alfa Romeo 155 Ti V6 DTM cars. So Studio 27 is going to be doing a number of little products for these kits. There's going to be a grade upset and a detail upset for the Alfa Romeo. Don't know exactly what those are going to contain as of yet. They're just sort of a pre-order slot. There is going to be one where you could sort of get a big package where it's going to include decals to make other cars other than what the Alfa Corsa team decals come with. I think it's a 7 and an 8 as far as the Tamiya kit. This will include like the ability to make 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, and 4, something like that. Basically all the Alfa Corsa teams that were running in 1993. And you'll get the detail upset, and you'll get the grade upset, and it's something like $75, something like that, for the whole shebang. I can't recommend that. I mean, the decal, sure, but the photo etch or whatever is going to be in there, I don't know what it is, so I can't really recommend it. On the BMW 318i race car side of things, they're going to be doing a detail upset that is going to include a set of new resin struts and wheel supports that will allow the wheels to be not really cambered, but it really is. I'll show you a picture here in a second of what the cars actually look like. But sort of cambered and tucked up into the wheel wells. We would call this, slammed or cambered or, just JDM, so to speak, style, nowadays, VIP, that kind of sort of thing. But this is just the way the race cars will run back then. And they're going to also offer both separately the two decal sets for the two cars I'm about to show you, as well as sort of a combination, which will include the detail upset with the ability to lower the suspension and photo etch and whatever else is going to, again, don't know exactly what those are, just we've seen pictures of the lowered suspension parts, as well as the decals. And those are going to run like $45, $50 for the decal and the detail upset. Now, the decals straight up are going to be two races that were run in Macau in 1993 and 1994. First up is this Watson's BMW 318i. As you notice here, the wheels really are slightly cambered inward, and they really are tucked up into the fender well. I mean, the rear one there, it's a perspective part of photography too, but the rim is almost touching the inside of the rear fender well. And this is just more proof that, a lot of Japanese automotive style is taken from racing rather than the other way around. And also, they're going to be doing the same Macau race from 1994, and this is the San Miguel sponsored 1994 BMW 318i. And, that sort of is what it is. If you're interested in the 318i, then you know that they are doing Hasegawa is doing two versions of it already. And I don't believe these decals were ever done by Studio 27. These are not reproductions. I know MSM Creations did the Watson's car. I think they may have also done the San Miguel car, but I don't believe Studio 27 did them way back when. So, if you're interested in it, there's the information for you. I guess we'll start domestically speaking. There were two things we may recall. We just did the video the other day of what round 2 is going to be doing, and two of the kits are actually out already. They came in a little earlier than expected, and they are from AMT, the 1971 Ford Thunderbird. As we discussed, this is going to be more or less a straight reissue of the Model King version that was done probably 10, 12 years ago now. It is a sort of a 2-in-1, possibly even leaning towards a 3-in-1 because there's more custom here than there is drag, but there are drag parts included with the pad-printed drag slicks. You are, of course, getting a retro box art. This is pretty much the original 1971 Thunderbird box art. And yes, if you really want to, you can decal it up in this psychedelic Birds of Paradise custom decal sheet. So, I know the 71 Thunderbird was kind of a pricey Model King kit on eBay, which always amused me because my local hobby shop has had one on the shelf since the kit came out 10 years ago. I'm not exactly sure if it's original kit or if they bought a collection, because my hobby shop, one of my local hobby shops, does buy collections, so I'm not sure how they got a hold of it, but they've had it for a while. This kit also does come with a promo chassis engine plate insert like we talked about, or it does a full detail engine, so you can build it whichever way you want to. And the other one is this Lindbergh reissue. I know it's a crappy picture, guys, but bear with me. I couldn't find any pictures of it on eBay or anything else like that, so we just took this straight off of Round2's website. This is, of course, just a reissue of the venerable, at this point, 1996 Ford Crown Victoria. You get decals to do one of 4 security vehicles. This one is marketing as the Asylum Security. This does come with some sort of weird cardboard backdrop so you can build and display. And it does include, as we talked about, the display case. I don't believe the display case has the background permanently attached to it, so you could just buy this and use the display case separately. Although, again, as we talked about in the September compilation video, this kit is going to retail at $25, which means it's probably more like $20, $22 at your hobby shop. It'll be $25 at Hobby Lobby or Michael's, but then you can use your 40% off coupon for it. It's still a lot of money to be paying for the display case when you could probably pick up the display case for $7, $8, so long as you don't mind having that one that has the sort of diamond tread bottom to it. Because you may recall, I don't remember exactly what month that was. It might have been June or July. They reissued the display case on its own, and that is the domestic side of things. Now on the Asian side of things, we have 2 modified reissues from Aoshima, 1 straight-up reissue from Aoshima, 1 reissue from Fujimi, and 1 straight-up brand-new tool that we are very, very excited about, actually. So the Fujimi reissue is going to be this. Whoops. There we go. This is the Ferrari F40. As we've talked about before, this is just a what they call the Real Sports Series. So it is the curbside, a very basic kit. You see there has 70 parts. It does come with sort of a engine blocky type thing attached to the rear suspension, or I guess in this case it's actually separate that you attach to the rear suspension. And then it has the very, very top parts of the engine, like the air intake and the air cleaner boxes and stuff like that, which is probably pretty much all you're going to really actually see through the hatch itself on the vehicle. Obviously this is not the Tamiya kit by any stretch of the imagination, but it is like the other Real Sports cars, running a whole $12.37. So if you want a cheap F40, it's a pretty decent proportional kit. Keep in mind, again, it's not a full detail kit, but it does come with a little bit of an engine. Over on the Aoshima side of things, the straight-up reissue is this, the I can never remember how we pronounce this, the Saibu Kitsatsu TV series. This is the Nissan Safari, aka Nissan Patrol, 4-wheel drive and tank car. This really could arguably be the actual original 1/24 scale piece of fire apparatus rather than the Subaru Sandbar that they're going to be doing later this fall. However, this really isn't a real piece of fire apparatus either. I believe the actual Subaru Sandbar thing really is patterned after a real fire truck as opposed to some goofy thing they created for the TV show. Underneath all of the junk, I think you can actually build a stock Nissan Safari, Nissan Patrol out of it, and then you have this great big trailer. The trailer does have dually wheels. I'm not exactly sure if that dually wheel set is shared with anything. I don't know if it's derived from a 1/32 scale truck or if it's actually really a 1/24 scale axle, because the wheels to me look a little smaller than the actual truck wheels. it's a very basic kit. It's a very the Nissan Safari itself is a 1980s kit, so it's a little best car vintagey. There's a lot of stuff going on with this kit when you start putting it together. And I've never actually seen the inside of one of these boxes to tell you how good or bad it would be. But obviously this thing has opening compartments and a sliding roof and all sorts of doodads and ding-dongs to make the movie car. You know, it is what it is in that sense. It's not new tooling or anything, like that. But it's an interesting conversation piece, if nothing else. And then Aoshima has released their 2 VIP cars that they advertised back at the Shizuoka Hobby Show. And they are the Kiwami Nissan SEMA. This will be the Y31 body style, late version. The Obayashi version. This kit comes with new wheels. They are legitimately brand new, freshly tooled wheels. They're not used from something else. A new front bumper, a new back bumper, a new spoiler, new side skirts, a new exhaust system, as well as a new cellular antenna. Now you may be like, cellular antenna? Yeah, this car is obviously based on a late 1980s, early 1990s Nissan, back when you would have a cell phone antenna. So it really has the entire style of the period piece here. And so, obviously your choice of whether or not you install the cell phone antenna and go for the entire 1980s look. But it's, the actual Nissan SEMA that's underneath all of these body parts is a 1988 tooling. And then there's some 2004 tooling in here because that was what made it into the late version. And then like I said, the bumpers, the side skirts, the wheels, the exhaust, the spoiler, the cell phone antenna, and the clear parts that go into the front bumper, those are all brand new 2015 tooling. The other KBreak VIP car, or the Kiwami, I should say, VIP car, is the KBreak Hyper Custom Version 1. This is actually based on a 2004 Toyota Crown Royal Saloon. It's pretty much the same sort of deal as the last one. New front and rear bumpers, new side skirts. Unlike the SEMA, these ones are just legitimately side skirts. They mount below the door, below the actual body frame itself. The Nissan SEMA ones sort of attach like an old style, say, monogram kit where you would put the side skirts over the actual body to, glue them onto the body. These sort of glue onto the bottom of the body shell itself. You also get new exhaust here as well, and a new grille, and some new headlight buckets and glass for the new front end. The back end, as far as the glass and the brake lights and all that, is pretty much just a straight-up 2004 Crown Royal. You do get a very robust set of decals with this as well, because all of the KBreak stuff and all of the stripes and the windshield stuff, but you also get all the pinstriping. If you notice around the front grille opening, there's a pinstripe around that. There's some very fine pinstriping around the back sort of splitter area where the exhaust is. It's kind of hard to see because they're only showing you part of the back end of the car. But all of that striping is included. Also, you do get a brand new set of wheels with this. So these are, again, 2015 tooled wheels. These have not been out on anything else. New bumpers, new side skirts, new wheels, new exhaust, new front headlight glass, quote unquote, and a new grille area. So that's all that's new about that. And since we're talking about new so much, let me show you. Not that. This! Brand new from B-Max. Also, a little Aoshima tie-in here as their distributor worldwide. Here's your 2012 Chevy Cruze World Touring Car Championship World Champion team. The R Huff here would be your world champion. We've talked about before, they include in this initial run only. So when this initial run sells out and they do the next run of these kits, if there is a next run of these kits, I suppose, you could always make that argument, it will not include all three teams. It may not include the Chevy teams at all. It may just be a blank car. at that point. I'm not exactly sure what they're going to do with it because it was a huge tie-up with licensing with GM over how they were going to do the decals for this car. But the R Huff car would be the world champion itself. You also get the ability to make 2 other teams' cars. As we talked about, the decals are pretty much identical for all 3 Chevy factory teams. You just get different mirror surrounds and different roof decals for the flags of the nationalities of the drivers. It's a pretty robust decal sheet. You paint the car basically 2 colors, the light blue for the overall body, and then you paint the back bumper a dark blue, and then everything else pretty much filters in with decals. So it's not nearly as bad as it could be as far as masking off, because really a lot of that other blue could be, masking this into 2 or 3 colors, having to paint the white for the Chevy around the front headlights and stuff like that. But fortunately, that's all taken care of decals. From looking at the parts and the instructions, this looks like a really nice kit, and it's looked like a really nice kit for about a year now. It finally has hit the shelves. It is very much a stripped-out Chevy Cruze. When they build these cars legitimately in England, they take Chevy Cruze, factory stock Chevy Cruzes, and gut them and turn them into race cars. So this has a very much gutted interior floor pan. It's very cool in that sense. And you may recall that they're going to be all these B-Max kits that they have coming. There's that Civic, the what I call EF3 Group A Civic race car, as well as the TA TA 64 Celica, the 84 Safari Rally, and the 240 RS Datsun 1983 New Zealand Rally. All of these cars and the MP4 84 British Grand Prix car came with this one too, have these detail upsets. This is sold separately. It's $10 or $11. The kit itself is about $27. You get a little bit of a carbon fiber decal set here. You see it's behind the photo etch. It's like the front splitter, the back splitter, some various other doodads and ding-dongs on the inside. All of these, I will say from looking at the instructions, all of the detail up parts are called out separately. So there's no sort of wondering where stuff goes. All the decals are actually placed in the instructions, and all of the photo etch is placed in the instructions. A lot of the photo etch can be sort of ignored if you don't want to go that route. For all of the, if you sort of look beside the brake rotors to the right, that is the basically the bottom intake, the middle intake, and the side intakes. That would be the tall, skinny piece, the sort of shorter, fat piece, and the 2 round pieces above them are the intake meshes. They do give you some sort of mesh material that you can cut to shape and go ahead and, how am I trying to think? Go ahead and put that in instead of the photo etch. I think there might be seatbelt material in here, but don't quote me on that for sure. But there are seatbelt decals, and there are, of course, belt buckles and all the doodads make a 5-point harness here. I believe the only thing about this photo etch set that is truly different from the actual decals that you can do, of course, being the brake rotor faces and that window net. I don't believe there's any kind of form of window net on the plastic runners themselves, or, well, obviously a decal will be kind of silly for that, but this, there's a whole bunch of stuff here. There's some hood tie downs, some trunk tie downs as far as the what I call those Dietz fittings, and then the evil that is all photo etch sets, windshield wipers. So it's something to keep in mind if you're going to be going into the Chevy Cruze market, that this does exist. As of right now, there is no actual carbon fiber detail set that is separate. If you want to do the carbon fiber decal thing, you kind of have to go with this set that they're offering there. So keep that in mind. We'll let you know if Studio 27 or somebody else decides to do one. And that, guys, would be that. I probably should have waited today to see whether or not Ravel was going to announce their fourth quarter kits or not. But I want to go to bed. They've announced their 4 new Star Wars kits. Looks like I'm sort of looking at it here. As I'm talking to you, you got a Renaissance X-Wing, a Millennium Falcon, TIE Fighter and Poe's X-Wing Fighter. I don't know what scale these are. Let me see if I can see. These are build and play, so these are going to be very basic snap-tight kits for your kiddies. Oh, they come with batteries. Oh, well, and that's spiffy. I guess I could. Well, there's a video here you can watch. If you go to Ravel's website and look, these are going to apparently be selling them at Target and Toys R Us. They got battle action sounds. Oh my! Well, these are certainly anybody who was expecting. By the way, if you're into that sort of thing, if you were expecting some sort of really neat hoity-toity Star Wars, at least what they announced today, yeah, that's not what you're getting. You're getting some kids' toys. Sorry. Anyway, guys. We'll see you on the other side.